From the 1011 Now streaming studio in Lincoln, Nebraska, this is the End Report Husker Show, sponsored by Fat Dog's Convenience Store.
Welcome into the 1011 Now Alert Center. I'm Danielle Shank with the End Report Husker Show, brought to you by the Fat Dog's Convenience Store. Sports Director Kevin Sjuts is joining us live from Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. Kevin, set the scene for us. How different is this bowl game in Vegas compared to a regular road game for the Huskers?
Well, it's a bowl game, so it's pretty festive. And Happy New Year to you, Danielle, and all of our viewers today as they ring in the new year watching Nebraska play in a bowl game. The second straight year in which Nebraska qualifies for the postseason under Matt Rhule. Nebraska is here with a 7-5 record. The end of the season did not go the way that Matt Rhule and company wanted it to go. But alas, they're in a bowl game. They've had a fun few days here in Las Vegas, and they hope to cap all the festivities with the victory over Utah. But Danielle, that's going to take a pretty focused effort. This Utah team's 10-2. They have a dynamic quarterback in Devin Dampier. But Nebraska just looking on how they've warmed up so far and the way that they've approached pregame here at Allegiant Stadium. Seem to be enjoying it, seem to be focused and ready to play in the Las Vegas Bowl.
Absolutely. And so the Huskers, as you know, arrived about an hour ago. What was their energy like walking in, and how's the fan turnout so far there?
The fan turnout's really hard to identify, in part because both teams wear red, but also because Las Vegas has, like, so many people have stayed in different spots. So the Strip had a strong contingency of Nebraska fans last night. As for today, I think everybody's just doing their own thing, and we're going to find out at 2:30 Central Time when this thing kicks off what it looks like. But that's a good point about the fans, because Las Vegas Bowl officials are expecting this place to be charged up, and a lot of people in a lot of red. In fact, that they believe that this game could break the Las Vegas Bowl attendance record, which is at 41,000 fans.
Yeah, absolutely. Big crowd for Matt Rhule. I mean, how big does this moment really feel for the program after Nebraska making a second straight bowl game appearance?
Well, I'll go off of what Henry Lutovsky said during the news conference yesterday, that this is a massive opportunity, perhaps the biggest one he's ever had as a football player. As Henry shared with reporters, when he arrived at Nebraska that freshman season, the team went 3-9. Now they're 7-5 with an opportunity to win an 8th game, which would be another step forward. So that's the significance of this contest. The fact that they're playing on New Year's Eve, they're playing a ranked team, so a win today would potentially, a win today would break that almost decade-long drought against AP top 25 opponents. Nebraska's lost 27 in a row, I believe. So again, that's a part of the layers to this matchup for Nebraska football. But Danielle, I'm going to take a moment just to pause and recognize the beauty of Allegiant Stadium. This is where the college football playoff championship game will be played next year. It is beautiful. It's a $2 billion facility. It's only been open about 5-6 years, and this is pretty legit. And it's pretty fun for Nebraska because they opened the season at Arrowhead Stadium and NFL Stadium, and they're going to close this year inside Allegiant Stadium, which is also home of the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we kind of mentioned this in our reports earlier on Monday, discussing it earlier this week. But for those who may have missed it, what should we expect from the offense today? I mean, running back rotation going to look a little different with Emmett Johnson declaring for the NFL draft and TJ Lateef back 100% after that injury at Iowa.
Yeah, TJ looks good. Matt Rhule said yesterday he's 100%. Just watching him throw the ball around, he's having fun. There seems to be no limitations on his mobility, which will be key in this game. Dana Holgorsen wants him to use his legs as well as his arm. As for the running back position, it's going to be by committee. But if somebody gets hot, don't put him as Dana Holgorsen to just ride with the hot hand. That's what he did with Emmett Johnson earlier in the season. So the running backs to keep your eye on today, Isaiah Mosey, Quentin Ives, and Mekhi Nelson. They're each going to get the football. There's a chance Kenneth Williams could get some carries out of the backfield as well. We know him as a really good return specialist, but he might work his way into the offense. That's the rotation. On the topic of Emmett Johnson, he is here. He's in street clothes. He's hanging out with the guys. And he said all along that he wanted to be with the team on game day, even though he is done playing in Nebraska. He wants to support the guys that he has battled with throughout the course of this season. I don't know who's going to emerge out of that running back room, but I will say Quentin Ives was leaned on in the Pinstripe Bowl last year. In fact, his only career touchdown came in the bowl game in New York City in 2024.
And I'm sure that means a lot for the running backs that Emmett Johnson is there supporting them.
Oh, for sure. And then in terms of the wide receiver situation, Ja'Cory Barney Jr. has gotten a lot of praise this year. Expect him to be targeted often in this game. I think he's one of those reliable yet dynamic players that Nebraska can lean on. TJ Lateef, of course, will want that as he operates the offense. Isaiah Hunter does not appear he's going to play. He was listed as questionable on the injury report. He did not go through warm-ups. He's in street clothes. He's just hanging out with the guys, and we're still interacting with them, throwing some balls, but he hasn't run any routes, and it doesn't appear that he is going to play in this game. So that takes another body out of the ball game. You know, Nebraska, if you were to look at the depth chart from week 1 to what's going to be on the field for the Las Vegas Bowl, it's going to look much different. There's a lot of youth, but these are some players that have really poured a lot into the program over the course of the season, whether it be on scout team or just buried on the depth chart. Justin Rhett is one name that comes to mind. He's going to play at safety today. Fans haven't seen a whole lot of him outside of in late game situations. He's a Las Vegas native. He attended Bishop Gorman High School, and that's where Nebraska practiced in the lead up to the Las Vegas Bowl.
Some special connections there. And now talking about some players that are going to be out, starters Deshaun Singleton and Dasan McCullough are out. How does that kind of impact Nebraska's defense today, and with interim DC Phil Snow stepping up here for this bowl game?
Yeah, good question. Good point there, too. Phil Snow is the interim defensive coordinator. He said all along he's not going to change the scheme. He's not going to revise everything, nothing too drastic. He just wants these guys to feel confident in the plan that they have, and he's really tasking the players make tackles and know your assignment. So he's dumbed it down. That's not to say they're not going to blitz. They're not going to try to vary up what they do a little bit, but any wholesale change is absolutely not going to happen. I think Phil Snow is going to enjoy this too. You know, it's been a while since he's called a football game. He's shared with us that he looks forward to having the defensive call sheet in his hand and being the one to make the calls. So Phil Snow, who has coached for more than 50 years, said it's like going back in time for him. So he will be on the sideline with Matt Rule and company calling the defense. And that's just one element to what's been a very adventurous postseason for Nebraska. Of course, John Butler was fired following the Iowa game, and Snow is the interim DC. Haven't seen Rob Aurich here. He's the new defensive coordinator, hired from San Diego State. He's not going to coach in this game. But from what we learned, it sounded like he was going to try to be here for the ballgame today.
Yeah, absolutely. Lots of moving pieces. We have some stories about that on our website that you guys can check out if you need a little more context. But for right now, what are the keys for Nebraska in slowing down this number 15 Utah and their elite rushing offense?
You got to tackle. I mean, this sounds pretty generic, but I think Nebraska, one, needs to tackle. They need to manage the game really well, and by manage it, just don't go too fast, run some clock, limit possessions, because Utah can hit you in a hurry. They rank in the top 10 nationally in scoring. They average over 40 points per game. They throw for more than 200 a game. They rush for more than 200 a game. There is potential with that offensive line and the talented backs that Utah has that they could run right at Nebraska. So they just got to stay on their assignment, and they have to tackle. And then don't let Dampier have too many explosive plays. If Utah gets a couple of big ones, then this game could look a little bit differently. So manage the game, make tackles.
Absolutely. And so, Kevin, any final thoughts here before we let you to go cover some pregame and then eventually the game?
It's New Year's Eve. Nebraska's playing in a bowl game, and this place is wonderful. It is so well lit. The field turf is awesome. The end zones, they're not painted with reference to each team. Instead, they both say Las Vegas in cursive, and they've got some Las Vegas accents, so that's pretty fun. This is going to be fun for the folks that are here, just being able to watch a game in this beautiful stadium. Hopefully it's fun for folks back home as well. But remember, there was a 7-year stretch where there was no Nebraska playing in a bowl game. So if you rewind back to 2022, 21, 20, keep going back. I think you gladly would have been you would have been okay with the scenario of watching Nebraska play on New Year's Eve, no matter the opponent, no matter the destination.
Yeah, they've got a tough opponent, but it would be so nice to end the year on a high note and the year on a win. But, man, just a great experience for this team.
Yeah, the spread's kind of bounced around a little bit today, too, which is odd. You know, Nebraska is a 14-point underdog. That's what it's at least been over the last couple of weeks. At one point today, it bumped to 13.5. Now it's at 14.5. So, again, it's still in the same range. But, man, 14, that's a big number for a bowl game because there are opt-outs. Think about Utah. They have a first-time head coach, Morgan Scalley. And, you know, they've had an adventure of their own over the past couple of weeks with Kyle Whittingham's departure to Michigan. So there are a lot of unknowns. There's unknowns on Nebraska's sideline, unknowns on Utah's sideline, but the odds makers, I think, are just going off of the entire 2025 body of work, and that would put Utah in favor by 2 touchdowns. Let's see what Nebraska can do. It's a 2:30 kickoff with the game televised on ESPN.
Absolutely. And, you know, just, on that mantra, why not us? Maybe the Huskers can pull something off. And for more Husker coverage and all those details and backstories, people missing, new coaches, things like that, you can visit our website and follow us on all our social platforms. Kevin's been working super hard there in Las Vegas. So don't forget to download our Roku app so you can also watch all those special videos from our newsroom to wherever you are. We'll see you on the next stream.
You've been listening to the Report Husker Show, sponsored by Fat Dog's Convenience Store. Watch, listen, and stream on the 1011 Now app, on YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. For more Husker coverage throughout the week, watch the Report on 1011 Sports at 6 and 10 p.m. and download the 1011 Now app.